Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's your friend LP dropping in. Say hello to everybody. This evening's topic is going to be a very, very known topic because you, as a parent, I may not be a parent, but I can say that it hasn't been the greatest for parents out there, especially if you have teenagers out there. We're going to be talking about school shootings. Maybe to some of you, maybe old news. To some of you, maybe new news. Right? This is a very, very, very serious topic to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very heavy topic to talk about. Why? Everybody is going to have their opinion, their points and views about why are we having school shootings? What's going on in the schools? Why do we feel that schools aren't safe? What are we doing wrong? Parents that have children perhaps might feel that they're doing the right. The question is, are you? Educating your children isn't easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not as easy as some people would say, oh yeah, it's pretty easy. No, not in today's society. Not in today's era. Not in today's decade. It is very sad to see that we just recently today, I'm not lying to you, if I had the screenshots, I would have shot the screens and posted them here along with the video. But I don't think Facebook does that yet, where you post your video and a photo. For some odd reason, it won't let you. In this case, live streaming wise. But I'm very, very, very devastated because it's sad that us as a community, and I'm going to talk to the parents here for a bit. Parents don't really educate their children anymore like they used to. Alright? Sending your kids is not just a way to educate them to school. You can send random children to school. You feel that, oh yeah, they're obtaining their education. No, they're not. Not in school, not anymore. School is not what it used to be back in the day. And I say back in the day because in the 90s, it wasn't like this. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, the first shooting that took place in school was in 1999 in Columbine. Out there in the state of Colorado, Denver, Colorado, at Columbine High School. 1999. Right? And it's sad to see that we even had copycats. Yeah, you heard that right. Copycats. People who just don't even have the conscience. They just don't have conscience. They don't give a hoot whose family they hurt, what child do they hurt, or teenager. They don't care. And it's very, very sad, ladies and gents. It's very sad because parents today, they don't encourage discipline. Oh, yeah. Schools don't encourage discipline either. They feel, especially teachers, they don't give a hoot. They don't do what's right anymore for our children. They don't. Again, I know I may not be a parent, but I'm speaking for all the parents out there, to all the parents out there. I'm sorry that if you are a victim who unfortunately became part of a school shooting, and maybe perhaps your teenager's no longer with you or your child is no longer with you, I understand that, and I'm sorry, it's not really the answer. Why? Because I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you went through, right? And I can't really go, I understand, because I don't. I'm not the parent. I'm not the one that had the child. I'm not the one that had that teenager. I'm not the one who lost him or her, right? But what hurts me about all this is that there are parents out there who know the meaning of discipline. Oh, yeah. I run into several of them. We've actually talked about discipline, right? People misinterpret the term discipline, by the way. Discipline means to guide. It's another way to guide your children, right? Discipline doesn't necessarily mean to beat the crap out of your kid, your child, or your children, or your teenager, right? It means to guide them. It means to instruct them, right? That's what discipline is about. It doesn't mean to beat the crap out of your child or beat the crap out of your children or kid. It means to lay down the rules. You're the law at that house, right? They're clothing because of you. They're eating because of you, right? They're not out there working for it. They're not out there saying, hey, Mom, I bought me a brand new outfit today. Or, hey, Mom, you know what? I cooked dinner today. No. And you guys know, parents, I'm talking to you, really. All these shootings weren't taking place if we were to have discipline. Now, some people may say, oh, yeah, you're right. Some people may say, well, why am I going to discipline my child? Well, if we had more discipline like we did back in the day, it wouldn't be like this. Unfortunately, government ain't gonna give a flip or hoot about your children. The only time they seem that they care about your children is for publicity. I'm just throwing it out there, and that's real. You guys think that Mr. Trump cares about the children, the kids that got shot? Heck to the no. He don't. He don't. He's out there because of publicity. You guys think that the governor might care that the shooting took place? Nope, they don't. Anytime tragedy takes place, they call the president or they call the government or they call random people, these so-called big people. I wonder what for. Tragedy has already taken in place. Can replace my child back? Can restore my life back? Devastated. Shooting took place in my school or what have you. I really don't blame these teenagers doing what they're doing out there in Florida. What I saw in several live castings from Univision, from ABC7, from Channel 11, from Channel 4, and random news channels. Kids are walking out of their classes. I don't blame them. But at the same time, kids are the ones that are becoming a problem because they don't have the education that they need. For some reason, the government feels that, send them to school and they'll learn. No, that's not how it works. Not anymore. A punk is going to be a punk. A teenager, what is it that they say today? I don't care. It's my life. I don't care. I do what I want. You're no one to tell me what to do. Especially to a teacher. But if a teacher kicks them out or something, get out of my classroom or something, the teacher gets in trouble. Why should the teacher get in trouble when the teacher is forcing discipline in the classroom? In other words, you're telling that kid, you're not going to disrespect me. You're going to shut the hell up and listen to what I have to say because this is my classroom. Right? I think that teachers should be more firm with their learning, with their discipline, especially their discipline in their classrooms. Don't be afraid that you know what, that kid is going to talk behind me, or that kid is going to talk trash about me on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever. Because we have social media, ladies and gentlemen, kids, your typical 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, even up to 18, your typical 20-year-olds. They use social media as a weapon. Why? Because they don't know how to face their problems. Why? Because parents never taught them how to face their problem. Right? A parent never probably told their kid, hey, you don't ever talk behind a person's back. Because sooner or later it's going to come back to you. And it does. Right? All of this goes back to discipline, respect. And we don't teach that today in schools. There isn't really discipline in school. You might use the term guidance. But what is the definitions of guidance? To instruct, to enforce, right? And that's what's wrong with today's society. We don't have that in school no more. It's sad. If you're a parent, what the heck are you doing at home watching a good old tube or your digital tablet or whatever, instead of maybe writing a petition and say discipline should be enforced in schools and get thousands and or even billions of signatures? Guess what? Government is going to have to correspond to that, no matter if they want to or not. If they feel that it is going to help the schools, by golly, they need to do so. Because right now, to me, government sits it just seems very, very hypocrite. They say, oh, we can do this, we can do that, but then later on, oh yeah, it's a law, you can do this, you can do that. You know, in a way, government contradicts themselves. Right? That's why your typical 9, 10, 11 or so, or so year olds, they talk to adults the way they want. Because the adult doesn't enforce discipline. They don't encourage discipline at home. Right? I have a friend who has children. And she even told me if her granddaughter wanted to learn about guns and stuff, she would teach her. She says, I want to hide them from them. Because maybe sooner or later she might see one and I don't want her to be scared of what a gun is. What does it look like? How does it work? But I will definitely tell her when it's the right to use a gun and when it's not right to use a gun. A random punk today, your typical child, if you will, can just go to a random person and the people that they might know, and that person can be bad influence to them. Maybe he or she can give them a gun. But because a parent never taught them about weapons, how bad they can be, how dangerous they can be, they assume it's just a little kid. They're not going to understand. Nope. Don't work like that no more. We're in a new era. We're in a new decade. We're in a new generation. This isn't the 60s, ladies and gentlemen. Today you have to teach your children about guns. Today you have to show them what are the pros of a gun and what are the cons of a gun. Personally, I don't own one. I don't give a flip for them. But I'm sure that some of you that are listening to this cast do own one. I know you own one. You don't need to tell me. I just have a feeling that you do. I have a feeling that you used the gun also. Maybe you were in gangs when you used the gun. I don't know. All I can say is, I don't know who's on here, but those of you that might be listening to this cast, you know who I'm talking to. You know who you are. I know there are people on here that have a gun right now. You might probably never told anybody, but guess what? LP knows you own a gun. Oh man, how does he know? The Lord tells me, y'all. And we just need to teach our children about this. Look, this is how bad it's gotten again. In Whittier, in the city of Whittier, another high school was about to go on a shooting spree. I call it shooting sprees because that's what they are. That's what these punks do. They go on shooting sprees, killing random people. They don't give a flip whose life they take. They just go on a killing spree. Right? That's what they are. You might call it school shootings. You might call it just a random shooting. I call it a killing spree. Because that's what you're doing. You're taking people's lives away. Praise God for those of them who, were wounded and survived. And outlived that. Some of those, unfortunately, they weren't the ones to stay. Their lives were taken away. 17 people dead out there in the state of Florida at that school. And here in the city of Whittier, only Lord Jesus knows how many people were going to get shot. Because these individuals were going to be 2 of them, by the way, that were going to do a killing spree. in high school in Whittier. If you know what I'm talking about, you understand where I'm going with this. Yes, we are going to have a lot of copycats. Because of what happened recent, you and I know there's going to be a stupid idiot out there that wants to be a copycat. A stupid ignorant out there, an imbecile that's going to go, oh, hey, man, you know what? We got to do this with our school. It's cool. Yeah, because you're taking somebody else's life. You don't care. Maybe you might take that, I don't know, that girl that didn't pay attention to you. You might take her life away. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. People are all about revenge today. That's why that punk did what he did in Florida. It was revenge. 2 years ago, he was expelled. So he figured, oh, I turned 19 years, and I'm here, and I'm all this, and I'm all that, and I'm a tough guy, and I'm gonna go kill whoever. I don't give a flip. Well, guess what, son? You did it. But at the same time, you got capped. You got captured. You're under arrest. I just hope you plead guilty to what you did. And I go, oh, well, I didn't know what I was doing. Because that's what some of these shooters do nowadays. They supposedly go, I don't remember. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And what's wrong about this is that, unfortunately, we do have parents and their ignorance because money. They'll pay a random lawyer to make sure that his or her child don't go to jail. They might be detained for a bit, but then they got let go. You know? Look at what happened at the Colorado shooting, ladies and gentlemen. A teenager. I think it was a teenager or even an adolescent. I would say an adolescent. But still, in his early 20s, went on a killing spree. All because he supposedly was some random bad guy in the, I think it was the Dark Knight, Rise Again or something. The sequel to the first one. You know? And it's sad that we see this. Parents, you need to get it together. If you have children in school, start educating them. Start enforcing discipline at home. You know? I can just run them and ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble, but the question is, are you even going to share this video or this cast? Because parents really need to listen to this. Parents that don't give a flip, I hate to tell you, sooner or later you're going to learn the hard way. I just hope it's not your child being shot. Or God forbid a shooting or a drive-by at your household. By punks. Put together by punks. They're so-called gangs. You know what I'm saying? It's time to be a parent. Don't just feel because you gave birth and you have that little baby and then he becomes a toddler and then he becomes a typical child and then becomes a teenager, you're done. No. You gotta keep on educating that creature until he or she is ready to fly. That's when you're done. But as I would say, so further notice, that person lives under your roof, he or she must follow your rules. Doesn't matter if he or she likes them or not. You're the parent. You gotta be the enforcer. You gotta be the law. Hey, Dad, I'm going to my friends. No, you're not. Not this late, you're not. Oh, but it's gonna be a party. I didn't ask you if it was a party or not. You're not going. It's late. Next time. I'm talking to the dads out there who have girls. Dad, you don't understand. Blah, blah. I don't care if I understand or not. You're the one that don't understand. I do. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm your dad. That's why I'm your mom. That's why I am here. I understand. You don't. Sometimes we just gotta talk to a teenager like an adult, ladies and gentlemen. They might throw their tantrums and such and all that jazz. Let them. If that's what they want to do, let them. Just remind them, when you're done with that tantrum and you're ready to grow up, I'm out here in the living room waiting to talk. Or when you really want to talk to me and be an adult and not a punk, I'm out here. I'm willing to hear you out. But until then, we can't work nothing out until you're done throwing your tantrum. Until you're done being a child. Oh man, teenagers disgrace when a parent tells them that. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not a baby anymore. Well, then quit acting like one. If you're going to be 16, 17 or so, start acting like it. If you're a little punk that's barely becoming a teen, you ain't got no choice, son. You're still under the law of your parents. You know what I'm saying? So, parents, it's time to enforce discipline. Again, guidance. Guidance, guidance. Not once LP said, oh, go ahead, beat your kids up. No, no. That's the old school discipline, if you will. Because that's how I was taught too. Oh yeah, I got the belt. I got random things. Not just the belt. I'm sure that some of you did too. And that's how discipline was done in those days. Right? Believe it or not, there are countries that still enforce discipline. Like in the old days. We're talking about the 19th and even 20th century. You know? I'm just saying. Parents, it's time to be a parent. Stop this nonsense that I don't have no time. Well, if you had your wild times on making that child, then you better have that time to raise him or her. I'm just saying. I'm not judging you. I'm not one to judge you. I'm not one to go, well, then why did you do this? What you did that? You already did it. You already have that kid. You already have that child. You already have that teenager. It's time to be a parent. You know? Put a stop to children answering back to you. Like if they're an adult. You know? And I know there are some of you on here that if you were to answer back to your mom, what's the first thing she would do? She'll slap you. There was no such thing like, I'm going to call the cops if you slap my face or whatever. My mother would say, call them. Go ahead. Call them. I'll let you go with them. She did. My mother would say, okay. So I slapped you. Go ahead. Call the cop. In fact, she will pick up the receiver and dial the number for you. You ready to call? Go ahead. Call the cops. But when they come here, you're not seeing me ever again. Why? Because she was guiding. She was enforcing the rules. She was being the boss. The main one. You know? It wasn't me. It wasn't my brother or my sister. It was my mother. And whatever she said, went. Oh yeah. All right. Call the cops. Tell them I slapped you. Why? Because you did this. Because you did that. Because I asked you to bring up your grades or what have you, and you decided to be a punk ass and yell at me and forgetting the fact that I am the adult. I'm the one that says what goes, not you. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. Right? Many times we got it because we answered back to our mother. But as a friend of mine would say, each time we did that, man, were we going to get it. For some, I know this friend who is actually a female. She says that, yeah, their mother scolded him and all that good stuff. But, man, when daddy got home, watch out. Because they had it coming, basically. That's what she said to me. Oh, yeah, when daddy was home, we had it coming. Even though our mother has already scolded us. That's how discipline was, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's a good idea to bring it back. But if you're a parent out there that has teenagers in school, high school, middle school, then you better get your gear together and work. And write some kind of petition and have thousands of parents and children sign it. I'm talking about teenagers, not children, but teenagers. Your typical I would say 16 and up. And heck, why not even 15-year-olds? You know, your typical high schoolers. Have them sign it as well. Why not? I think it's a good idea for a parent that has teenagers in school to come up with some petition or something. And believe it or not, it will work. You just gotta have faith in it. Right? It's just very, very disappointing that now, after all this trash that's taking place in schools with shootings and that, now you're gonna feel like you're at the freaking airport. Now they're gonna have to check you like no other. You know? A school that I used to go to, ladies and gentlemen, here in Los Angeles, in Lakewood, basically, in the city of Lakewood. I'm gonna go visit that school. I would like to go to it because I figure there are some teachers out there that still are there that taught me when I was a youngster. They're still there right now. 30 or so years later, they're still there. But I know that when I go back to that school, oh my goodness, it's like I see it already. They're gonna search me. If I have random things in my pocket, I gotta pull them out and run through whatever it is system that they're gonna start using. Doesn't surprise me if they start using scanners. Isn't it sad? Aren't you gonna be sad that schools are gonna go that route? It's sad. What is that gonna tell me when I form my family together? What that's gonna tell me is you better homeschool your kid. There are the pros and cons to homeschooling, and we'll talk about that in another segment. And I would like a parent to join me in that cast. Wherever you are, you want to be part of that cast, you let me know. You want to join me in this live chat, let me know. I think you could request it. You could request the chat so you can join me in this conversation. If you want to do that, please, by all means, send me the request and I'll be glad to accept it. And that way you and I can talk to the audience, can talk to everybody on here. You know, we do need to get that message out there, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe a lot of you might, well, it's just social media where he's doing that message. True, but I can always download the video and upload it to YouTube and random social site, wherever else that may be. Alright? But I know that there are some tech savvies out there, like so, that can download the video and share it. Share it. Or heck, you can even share with your community. Share it. Right? I don't get tired of doing this type of video. Because I've even asked myself, I go, should I do this type of video or no? And I said, why not? I don't care if it's only one person listening to the video. As long as someone heard it. I know that somebody out there is going to say, hey, you know what? We've got a good topic to talk about here. Let's share this. I know. There are going to be radio shows talking about this. There are going to be random disc jockeys talking about it. TV shows talking about it. Of course, your typical news. But I think it's great that we all talk about it. It's time to talk about it. And it's time to do something about it. And we must do something about it. And we need to do something about it. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me reconnect this to my stronger Wi-Fi. Hold on. Stand by. All right, we're back in. My 5G for some reason was acting up, but anyway, we're back. So, like I said, you know, it's a very good subject to talk about, right? It is. Maybe to some of you, you might be, oh God, this is a boring subject. That's because you're not a parent. Maybe you're a parent and you don't care. Oh yeah, there are parents on here that don't care. Those that really do care are going to do something about it. Those that really care about their lives of their children, they're going to do something about it. I'm just saying. That's real. Because if I happen to have teenagers at school, you bet you something had to get done for real. Something must definitely get done out there. You know, your typical teenagers can go out and about and protest. But in a way, what good does it do? Government needs to hear it from everybody, not just a teenager. Everybody. I hear Mr. Trump ain't gonna do nothing about these so-called gun control. Well, really, there's nothing to do about it, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. It doesn't have to be just with guns. It could be with anything. You know, there are some people with some very, very interesting ways to do revenge on others. You don't need a gun to kill a lot of people. Hey, you just blow up people. You just need to know where, when, and what have you. I'm just saying. But most of these punks, they think a gun's gonna do it all. Nope. It will do a lot of damage. Yeah, it will do a lot of harming. Oh yeah, most definitely. You know. I see some people here in the comment section. If you're a parent, comment. Let me know what you think. I want to hear your feedback. The subject is for you and I, not just for me. I want to hear your feedback. What do you think? Talk to me. Let me know. You know. What should we do about this? What can we do to encourage discipline in schools, but most importantly at home? What can we do? Because teenagers today, they feel that they know what's going on in life. They don't know squat. They don't know jack. They only know because they see it with their so-called friends or homeboys or homegirls, as they would like to call them. I call those people bad influence. Not all of them, because some of them, I'm sure they have really good friends. But most of them, I call them bad influences. Right? Part of it is even the media too. I've noticed that the media has some secret hidden messages in school shootings. A lot of people may not catch on to it until maybe they see it 2, 3, or even 4 times, and they go, oh man, I didn't know that was there. Yeah, there are some hidden secret messages there. Revenge on others. Life is not about having revenge on others or doing revenge on others. It's really about helping one another. That's what our Lord intended for everybody. But everybody's like, no, I don't believe in this, or I don't believe in that, or I don't care about you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like, blah, 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 blah. You know? We need to be there for one another, y'all. Especially if you're a parent. You need to be there for your children. I don't care if your child is 1-year-old. You need to be there for them. I don't care if your children are older. I don't care if he or she's in their 30s, 40s, heck, even in their 50s. If you're still alive, you need to still be there for them. Because once you gave that birth to that child, because you had a blessing, your kid is always going to be a blessing. No matter which way you look at it, it's a blessing from our God to you and that significant other that you're with. You're always going to have that kid in your life, that child in your life, that teenager in your life. You're always going to have that children. These children. Right? Can't stress it enough. You had time to make them, or you had a wild time and you know, you came out with making a child. Well, then you better find way to raise your child. You better find parenting classes, because they are out there, to raise your child. in all fields, from development to emotion to random. Teenagers, you gotta teach them what's right, what's wrong in the adult world. Right? Parents need to be parents. Bottom line. Parents need to encourage discipline, enforce discipline at home. If he or she doesn't do what you say, then you're gonna introduce them to what's called restriction. You're gonna restrict things. Maybe he or she likes that iPad, or I don't know, they like to hang out with their friends every weekend. Forget it. You're not going to your friends this weekend. Mom, but it's just no. You're not going to your friends this weekend, bottom line. You know what my mother used to do, ladies and gentlemen? When we were kids, if you and this is an idea to your parents out there, you want to use this strategy, go for it. I think it's a good idea. But check this out. My mother, when we were kids, she wasn't stupid. She knew that we were sneaky, and one way or other we would turn on that TV. As my mother would say, children think that us as parents are stupid, but we're not. We already know those tricks because we have done them or what have you. It's just an expression that she would use, right? Anyway, if you have children that are out of control, let's say they're not doing good in school, or they're just being brats, punks, you name it, disobedient, you're gonna introduce what's called restriction. You're gonna start taking things away. So your child likes to watch TV on the weekends. That goes away. Why? Well, because that's something that he likes, right? That's something that she likes, right? You're going to take it away till the following weekend. That means no TV Friday, no TV Saturday, and no TV Sunday. That's your weekend, by the way. FYI. Your weekend begins on Friday. So yes, it will apply as a Friday. And it's over by Sunday. Right? When we were little kids, and our mother knew that on days of school, we couldn't watch TV. You know how some kids get up early in the morning, and what's the first thing they do? They turn on the TV. Well, in today's era, I'm pretty sure they might have an iPad right next to them, and they'll wake up and maybe they'll check on their Facebook or whatever social media they have, or even YouTube. If you're a parent, I suggest you take those devices away at night and go, you're going to get it in the morning when you go to school, or if you don't even want them when they're in school, take them away. And you give it back to them when they come back home. But Mom, my friends has them. I didn't ask you if your friends has them. You're giving me your iPad. You're not getting this device until you come back home. You know. I know. There are a lot of parents out there that do give kids a phone. I know that. But did you know there are programs out there that will actually allow you, the parent, to control their phone? Yeah, there are. Right? These programs actually allow you to control what time can they use the internet and what time are they restricted from using the internet. Oh yeah. Since we're in a digital era, I think you can apply some strategies that apply to this. Right? So let's say your punk little kid or punk child doesn't want to give you that iPad because he or she's losing it or throwing a tantrum. Fine. You have the option of calling even your carrier and letting them know you have a child and you want to be able to put restrictions on the internet usage at certain times and such. I think certain carriers will do that for you, but there are programs out there or apps that you can install on your phone And all you do is provide the other phone's information, and let the app know what phone is that he or she is using. You put the information. I believe you need to have like an IP address or something. I don't know. I have personally haven't tried them, but there are apps out there for that. You control what time he or she uses the internet. You control what time he or she uses the phone to make and receive calls. Now, the only option that will be available is the emergency one. That one is not blocked. So let's say for some reason your child doesn't want to give you his or her phone. Okay, then you can just block it. He or she will still be able to call 911, but he or she cannot have access to social media. He or she will not be access to the internet, or he or she will have no access to texting or even calling. Yeah, how about that? You might want to look into this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to look into this myself too, so I can help you, the parent. And that way you can use this technology and start applying it to your children. This is going to help you, believe it or not. Like I said, there are some children out there that, no, and my dad gave me this, or my mom gave me this, and yada yada. Okay, fine. Then you can apply this digital strategy of restriction for access to the iPad, for access to the phone, for access to calls, access to media, access to texting. You can block all that. There are several apps out there. I've seen a couple of really good ones. Are you going to pay for them? Yes, because I believe it's a monitoring system. In the long run, it actually watches your child too. The program is designed to protect the children. So let's say you do restrict them on all this: phone calling, texting, social media accessing, internet browsing, all this good stuff. But most importantly, your child will be monitored. Your teenager will be monitored at all times. When you're ready to allow him or her to have access to the internet and all the trash out there, then you will lift up the restriction by simply putting a password, and the system will automatically do the rest. Think about this one. Another thing that my mom, well, because we were in a digital era yet, but my mother used to actually unplug the television, man. She used to unplug it. She used to go, if I seen that TV turn on at certain time, I'm going to unplug it, and that TV is not going to come back on until maybe the weekend or something. You heard that clear. Until maybe the weekend. That means if she wanted to, it will come back on the weekend. If not, there will be no TV for a week. That's how my mother was. That's discipline. That is not abuse, because some people, that's abuse. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because in the long run, it encourages the parent to be productive with their children. That means that you are going to have to find some other things to do besides television. But if you want to be a hypocrite and go, oh no, that's okay, go ahead and turn it on, then you're not applying the discipline that you're supposed to in your own household. You're not even being the boss. Let me put it to you like that. You're just letting the child manipulate you. The teenager manipulate you. The adolescent use you. Right? Come on, parents. I'm sure you were disciplined when you were a child. Some of you maybe got the belt. Some of you just had restrictions. Limits. Boundaries. Whatever you want to call them. Same concept. Same thing. It applies. We wouldn't have all this shooting mostly if we had discipline. If we had discipline enforced in our homes. If we had discipline enforced in our schools. And what's wrong with this is that the parents decided to let the government do it. Heck no. Just like these history people did what they needed to do to free the slaves, to have women's rights, whatever, they did petitions, they spoke out, they did public speaking. Was the government proud of it? Nope. But they got their word out, right? Because of these people, no slavery exists, to my knowledge. I don't know if it's still out there in places or not, but to my knowledge, slavery is gone. Women got the rights. Women can do a lot of things, right? But if it weren't for these people doing what they did, women today would not have rights. Lord Jesus only knows if we still would have slaves. With the blacks. I'm talking about blacks because really slavery took place mostly with the blacks. Right? I'm pretty sure there are other cultures out there that had slavery. There are times in slavery. But I focus more on the blacks because that's what you learn in America, black history. Right? So, that's what I'm saying, y'all. We need to speak out. If you're a parent that has children, that has teenagers, or has an adolescent, it's time to speak out. It's time to stick up for your children, for their safety in their school, for their safety in their life in school. Middle school, high school, heck, even elementary, man. Elementary. Shootings. Man. I don't know how you feel, but I feel disgusted. I feel devastated. I disgrace the education system because it's not the same way like it used to be. I do. It's sad. You know? I'm going to be quick with you guys about this. In a good book, or the Bible, some of you would say, you know that our Lord actually does talk about disciplining our children, right? It doesn't say you're going to beat up your child like this, but it does talk about disciplining, applying discipline. Oh yeah, it does. Don't believe me? I suggest you look for it. Those of you that know what I'm talking about, understand what I'm talking about. But if you're out there thinking, LP's just talking a bunch of trash about discipline being in a good book, it is. It's there. It's in the Bible. It's in a good book. Look for it if you don't believe me. It talks about respecting our parents, loving our parents, obeying our parents, not disobeying our parents. Falls under the disciplines, the rules, and the discipline of God. Alright? So think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, there was discipline. There was discipline in a good book, aka the Bible. Oh yeah. I see several of you on here in the casting. Please comment. Comment about the school shootings. What's your feedback on this? What's your thought? What is your opinion? What do you think about this? No racial comments, by the way. If I see any racial comment, you will be banned and blocked. LP does not believe in discrimination. But you want to talk about this? Feel free. Let me know. What's going on? What's on your mind about this? Mom, Dad, talk to me. I see some of you that are parents aren't talking. Don't hide. Express yourselves. Talk about it. What do you guys think? What should we do? What can we do to stop this nonsense? Or do we like our children getting shot in schools? I'm just asking you. I'm being direct with the question. Do you like watching the news of school shootings? Of, God forbid, your own child being shot? Or maybe your child's friends being shot? Do you like it? No, the answer is going to be no. What kind of stupid question that is? Well, think about it. Why, as you as a parent, haven't done nothing about it? How come you haven't done anything about it? How come you haven't done a petition? Why? I'm gonna tell you why. You may dislike it, but I'm gonna tell you why. Because you like the shootings in schools. Because you like hearing on the news that random students got shot. Because you like shooting or killing sprees taken in schools. That's why. You don't have the guts to tell the government enough is enough. And we need to go back to our discipline days. But in a different way. Meaning more enforcing and guidance. You know? What do they do in the military? They discipline. What do they do in the Navy? They discipline. What do they do in the Marines? They discipline. What do you do in football? You discipline. What do you do in basketball? You discipline. What do you do in cheerleading? You discipline. You discipline, discipline, discipline. That doesn't mean that the coach is beating up the cheerleader or the coach is beating up the team member of a certain basketball team, and the same thing with football. That doesn't mean that Captain so-and-so is beating the crap out of somebody so-and-so in the Navy or the Marines or the Navy or the police. They're just being disciplined because they're applying the law. They're laying it down. They're applying the rules, the regulations. Right? What happens in boot camp if you don't make up that bed? I'm sure that some of you might have been in boot camp. I've never been, but I know people that have personally experienced it. They'll pull off that doggone mattress, they'll undo the bed, and they'll tell you, you need to redo it again. Not in my words, though. In a disciplinary format, they'll tell you. They'll turn the doggone mattress over. And they'll have you straighten it up. And they'll have you make that bed again. And if it's not made right, and they'll come back in again and undo everything again and have you do it again. That's discipline. That's not abuse. That's discipline. To indicate that you need to do your job right. Right? The same thing for school. We need to guide our children. We need to discipline. We need to enforce rules, regulations, school rules, school regulations, house rules, house regulations, limits, boundaries. Part of discipline. Right? Unless you like seeing students get shot at a random school or at a random college or at a random elementary school, then don't do nothing about it. But if you're a parent and understand what I'm talking about, then you're going to do what's right. For the sake of your child, for the sake of your teenager, for the sake of that adolescent that goes to college. For your sake. Because you're the one that's going to pay the bill if he or she gets shot. If he or she gets killed, God forbid. You're the one. Government ain't going to go, oh, hey, you know what? You had a victim here and we're going to pay you the funeral. No, they're not going to pay you. They ain't going to pay you nothing. All they're going to say to you is, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. Oh, I'm sorry that the shooting took in place. Oh, if you were so sorry, you would have done something about it, mister. Right? Am I right or wrong? Talk to me. Mommy, Daddy, I see you guys are on here. I see some of you have children on here. I know some of you that have children. Don't hide. Talk to me. Let me know. Let me know. What do you think? Do you like school shootings? In your child's school? In your teenager's school? In the colleges? No? Well, then I think we need to do something about it, right? You, as a parent, should take the step. The first step. right? Don't let all the teenagers do their work. You go out there with them. You support your teenager. If they're marching out to protest, you're going to march with them. You should. Because he's your child. She's your child. She's your daughter. He's your son. Right? Or grandchildren. You need to be there to support them. You know? We need to enforce rules. We need to lay down the law. Right? You guys let me know. Leave it in the comment section. Do you like these school shootings that are taking place? Or are you going to do something about it? And what are you going to do about it? If I was a parent, I would have done something about it right away. I wouldn't hesitate. Because I'm one of those that doesn't believe in filtering what I need to say. I will say like the way it is. That's why I ask you. And I'll ask you again. And you share this video. Go ahead. I know a lot of people are going to go, why would he ask that? Because it's the truth. Because you as a parent haven't done nothing about it. Apparently, you must like all these school shootings that are taking place. Apparently, you like to see random children get shot and being pulled out in hospital beds, in gurneys. But if you didn't, you would have taken a step and done something about it, right? We cannot go, oh yeah, it's easy to say. Yeah, I could just talk about it. But you are the parent, not me. You are the one that needs to get something going here. I would, if I were a parent. You don't need to ask the LP twice. I make sure something gets done. I'll start with petitioning here in my own neighborhood. That's how it starts. You remember that little song that Drake sings? Starting from the bottom over here. That's how we start. We always start from the bottom. Right? Even petitions. You start from the bottom, you build it up to the top. Right? Campaign. If anybody knows how to do one, get it going. Get it started. Gun control, I don't know if that's ever going to even taking place, but if it does, praise God. If it doesn't, then you as a parent need to do something about this. You as a parent need to do something about this. Right? Alright. Guess I'm done rambling about the school shootings and discipline. You guys let me know what you guys think. Comments are welcome in the comment section. If you want to talk to me directly about this subject or other subject that you would like to for me to bring up here, let me know. And if you want to be a guest here on live, let me know. And I'll invite you and we'll talk about the subject, you and I. And we'll read the comments and have you express your opinions, thoughts or so. But keep it in mind, no racial comments. The moment I see one, you will be banned and blocked. I don't care who you are. Bottom line. LP does not believe in discrimination. Alright? Much love to everybody. May our Lord Jesus guide us, bless us, always be with us. Alright? If you need any prayers, ladies and gentlemen, you can always ask me and I'll be glad to pray for you. And it'll be a blessing from the Lord by using me to help you, to pray for you. Okay? If you're a parent and you would like to talk about your children, maybe how to enforce certain guidance or restrictions or what to do about random thing that perhaps you don't see changes within your child, teenager or adolescent, you let me know. I'll be glad to guide you. I'll be glad to help you. Alright? And I'll talk to everybody real soon. Much love, respect to everybody. You guys can still comment within this subject if you like. About the discipline, school discipline, house discipline, and school shootings. All right. So let's get it together, parents. You made those children. You made that kid. You made that child. It's time to raise it. It's time to be a parent. All right. Be responsible. All right. Don't use lame excuses like, I don't have the time. I'm working too hard. Well, then if you need to get a part-time job, so be it. But you need to dedicate time, most importantly, to your child, your daughter, your son, or your children in general. Right? That's why we have all these shootings, believe it or not. Because parents don't care. Because parents don't dedicate time to their children. They don't dedicate time to that little girl, daddy's little girl, mommy's little boy. But you have the time to go out on your so-called meetings. I'll tell you what your so-called meetings are. Hangouts. Daddies with the secretary. Maybe that girlfriend next door. Maybe that neighbor next door. Mummies. With my boss. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm talking to you ladies out there. Oh, I have a meeting with my boss. Oh, I have a meeting with this guy. Yeah, right. It's called adventure time. I'm not saying it always because it's not. I know there are some of you that do work. I know that there are some of you that do go to meetings with your bosses or with random people that you really need to meet up with because, hey, that's where the bread's coming, right? But there are some of you that you know who you are and you know that you're not doing right. One, you're already committing adultery. That's another subject. Two, you're lying to yourself. And three, you're lying to your kids, children, or single child. Same thing with you, daddy. You're lying to yourself, or you're lying to your children, or that daughter of yours. And most importantly, your wife. Yeah, that's a whole different subject. We'll talk about that one later. But all I'm saying again is be a parent. Don't use lame excuses. Oh, I don't have time. I gotta go to work. Oh, I gotta go to a meeting. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. No. You had the time to make that child. You had your wild times. You know? You need to have that time to raise that creature. And help that creature become something. Something big. Something good in their life. Not a drug dealer. Not a loser. Right? Someone successful. Maybe you didn't graduate college. Did you ever thought that your child could? Your adolescent could? Maybe you didn't graduate high school. You ever thought that your teenager could? Maybe you didn't attended random extracurricular activities in school. Did you ever thought your teenager would? It's not about you, mommy and daddy. It's about your child. It's about your children. It's about your daughter or your son. It's about them now. It's not about you. It's about them. Be a parent. That's all I gotta say. Be a parent. You had the time for your wild times. You are blessed with the child. Take care of it. Time to raise it. Alright? Like I said, if you need to talk about other subjects that you're interested in talking to me about, or that you would like me to bring up in my castings, let me know. And I'll be glad to do so. In the LP show, you guys know mostly I focus on upbeat music, and I don't really focus in random subjects. Maybe we might introduce minor subjects here and there, but nothing too extreme, like the shooting or discipline. Nope. I'd rather have these with no music because, believe it or not, music takes a concentration, believe it or not. It does. We can talk about the subject, let's say, in one of my shows, but then you're going to forget all about it. Why? Because the music segment takes over. That's why I don't really bring up subjects on the LP show. And if I do, it's going to be something minor, not something so big. And if it's a big subject, let's say about the school shootings, if I were to bring it up on the LP show, all I'm going to say is go to my Facebook page, because I'm going to talk about it there, live. You'll have the opportunity to talk about it with me. You have the opportunity to interact with me. Right? Speaking of my show, please feel free to take a listen to it. You will enjoy it. I'm pretty sure you will. Download the TuneIn app, or if you have an iOS device, go to your iTunes podcast app, by the way. Go to the app called Podcast. Type in the LP Show, you'll find it there. If you don't, go to your iTunes store, type in the LP Show, you'll find it there. You can always download the iHeartRadio for both iOS and Android. The same thing for the TuneIn app, and the same thing for Spreaker app. Alright? If you guys want to check out my show, please do. Real soon I'm going to be posting a link where you, the listener, can help me with donations. Whatever comes from the heart. Note, this is not a scheme or a scam. The donations are going to go towards the show itself, such as maintenance or even equipment for the show. And I will do videos of the stuff that I get for the show. That way you will be like, oh man, yeah, he does use the money for this, or he does use the money for that. That way you don't feel that LP is trying to start a scheme. I'm not about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about doing good. Reaching out to the community and helping out the community as much as I can, however I can. And as long as the Lord has me on this earth, I will assist with what I can. Let me say that word again. Can. Not can't. Can. C-A-N. Okay? I guess that's it. And I'll talk to everybody real soon, alright? Any questions? Please feel free to call me if you know me personally, to message me if you want to hit me up on Messenger, or to comment in the comment section. Alright? No cursing. You notice LP didn't use no cuss words. I don't need you using them in my castings. Alright? Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it professional. Let's keep it appropriate. Alright? I'll talk to everybody real soon. This is your friend LP. Before I go, I want to send shout-outs. Yes, because I have several of you on here. So I got Martha. Shout-outs to you, my dear. Shout-outs to Maria Elena. Shout-outs to Sunny. Shout-outs to Cruzita. Shout-outs to Mary. And shout-outs to Myra. And, of course, shout-out to Layla. Thank you very much for joining me in this cast. Maybe you might think it's long. It's like, man, he rambles too much. But you know what? I get my point across. I get my point straight. I get what I need to say out there. So you, the audience, will have the opportunity to listen or to even think about it. Think about it, because you may be a parent. You might be like, oh, you know what? What can I do to help my child, or to help my teenager, to support his school, to help their school, so these doggone shootings will stop? What can we do? How can we talk to the government? How can we get it through certain people's head that this is happening and it needs to stop? Because I don't want to see shootings in schools. I certainly don't want to see it in the news either. On the news either. All right? I don't know about you, but I don't. I don't want to turn on the TV next time, or even launch my Facebook and go, hey, there was a shooting today at a certain random high school. Again, another one. No. I don't need to see that, man. That gets boring. That gets boring and old. And it gets old because we should have done something about it. I'm talking to you parents. You should have done something about it already. Don't let the teenagers do all the work for you. You be a parent. Show your support. Be there with your children. Be there with your daughter. Be there with your son. You know, it's time for you to be a parent. All right. I'm locking it out, ladies and gentlemen. I will talk to everybody real soon. Much love and respect to everybody. You know, you can always get a hold of me if you need to or talk to me, okay? If you need a prayer, please let me know, and I'll be glad to pray for you, okay? I'll talk to everybody soon. Respect, love. Your friend LP, standing by. We out.